It was outstanding. I thought, obviously, the catch that Engel made is probably top one. Great catch, went up the wall, brought it back. Yeah, you're right. Everybody out there today did a very nice job. I thought they were communicating. I think they were doing all the little things, backing up bases. I know there was the one play in left with Sally and Leroy, but even from the dugout, you could hear them both commanding and calling for the ball. So it wasn't anything about not communicating. I think they're both adamant about trying to catch it.
Ricky, not many teams have pinged Keuchel around like that. 8 runs, 10 hits. What was the key tonight?
Listen, I think our guys were just more patient, trying to get him up in the zone. They took advantage of what he was giving them. You know, they made him work a little bit. It's one of those things where I think they had a real good idea, a plan that they wanted to have against him. I think they applied it. I think they trusted it. And, you know, it's like anything. These young players will have days where seemingly all comes together. And today was one of those days where I thought it wasn't a bad day at all in general. I know we had almost got picked off at second, and then there was a play that developed at the plate on the action. But they'll learn from those. There's some things that, you know, they'll get out of them.
Speaking of trust, you and Holland obviously trusted each other tonight. You got a win.
Well, I mean, I thought he was throwing, you know, well enough to keep us in there and actually send him back out in the 6th. We weren't going to let him get into any more trouble. I was hoping he was going to, you know, work it and get the last out of the 6th inning, but it didn't, for us, it didn't make sense to allow him to just keep going, just to keep him out there. I thought anything that we could do to try to minimize anything that could get going was the best option at that moment. But he did a nice job.
By saying that catch was top one, are you saying it was the best you've ever seen?
No. I think top one this year, and probably a top 10 if you had to say. It's got to be up there. I mean, it's a pretty good catch. That's a great catch.
You've spoke highly of him all year, but Tim's driving the ball pretty well the last 6 games. Is that just nice to see in general?
Yeah, I think, you know, he's coming back around. You know, he's settling back into who he is. I think that, you know, time is doing a lot for him in terms of, you know, healing and then just concentrating on playing baseball. I think he's starting to be able to, you know, separate what's been going on, compartmentalize, and just get a little bit back into the game of baseball. I think he's refocusing and trying to give you every effort to do the best he can out there. Yeah.
Kevin Smith has swung the bat well for you in the last month or so. What do you like about the way he approaches his at-bats?
Well, I mean, obviously he's had the results that we want. Today he drove a ball out of the ballpark. He's had, you're right, in terms of the numbers, he's been pretty hot over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But I think he's always hit, even in the minor leagues. He's always had numbers. I think he just takes a very quiet, solid approach. Doesn't try to do too much at times. Might end up being a little passive, but for the most part, you know, he does what he can and stays under control and understands what he's capable of doing and gives you a solid at bat.
Rick said today that he could foresee Avasale being one of the building blocks of this rebuild and not getting rid of him. Is he a guy that you can see being part of this rebuild going down the stretch?
Could you repeat that question?
Rick Hahn said earlier that Avasale Garcia could be one of those guys who can be a building block during this rebuild. Do you see that kind of out of him? I mean, he's got 2 more years left on his deal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think anything's possible. I think he's been, this year in particular, I think he's shown a progress in his growth as a Major League Baseball player, and I think that if he continues to do what he's doing, there's no reason why, you know, that possibility doesn't exist. Obviously, everybody's going to continue to look forward and see what's coming down the pike and continue to see his growth and then see how it fits.